Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on?
Just getting the day started over here.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, 11 a.m. for me. I've started to get up I'm setting my alarm at like 4:30 so I can start working by 5. That's my only time that I can actually be super productive with the kids at home.
yeah, that makes sense. I need to get back into that workflow. I did that
I
for a
love it, dude.
while.
I get so much done. I feel like 9 a.m. hits and I've had a full work day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been ever since we've been. I mean, I'll just jump right in. Ever since we've been deep right into development of voice, like I've been staying up late to talk with the team when they're online for the next day. So that way I can answer questions before I go to bed. So that way they're more productive and they have more answers to work with while I'm sleeping. So, and usually they'll be online at, you know, midnight or so to 1 a.m. PST, which it's like, all right, I just got to do what I got to do in order to, and I mean, thankfully I'm able to do that. I don't have little monkeys running around. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Exactly. No, it took me a second on Little Monkeys. I do the same thing. So our team, we are Australia, Ukraine, which is Central Europe, and Canada. So it's literally like every 6 hour increment in time zone changes, there's somebody new. So we're like literally yeah, anyway, I totally get it. I do the same thing. I try to answer questions late at night so that in Australia they've got the answers, and I try to get up super early in the morning so I can respond to the Ukrainian dev team. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's the nature of a global workforce.
Got to do what we got to do, right? Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll get the Bambi update out of the way first because this is exciting. Freemium is here. The free
Okay.
version of Bambi is live as of a couple hours ago. And I'm super excited because we're going to the Expo in Melbourne on Saturday
Oh, nice. This weekend. Yeah.
this weekend. And the foot traffic there is absolutely bananas. 80% of the people that walk through the door are pregnant women with their first baby. So it's just like it's prime audience. And we finished our pitch deck yesterday. We've got the big scannable QR code that's going to sit on the desk. We have the landing page set up. We've got a cash giveaway ready. So yeah, anyway, it'll be interesting. It's our first show, so I'm excited to see what the response is like. But I'm hoping we see a pretty big spike in downloads.
Is the cash giveaway the booth draw? Like how you're gonna draw people to the booth?
Yeah, yeah,
Nice. Okay.
I think so. Yeah. It's
Is it just download the app and you get entered into the thing?
that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is partially why we wanted the free version out so badly. The big
Yeah.
thing for me was not just the free version, it was the updated onboarding. Our onboarding has completely changed. I think I might have talked about this, but we did a 180 switch on onboarding. So it used to be you download the app and you ask the user a bunch of questions. What's your name? How many kids do you have? Are you pregnant? Blah blah blah. Like a whole bunch of questions to get them onboarded. And then we gave this quick little infographic on what Bambi does. I'm like, it was such a miss because someone just came from an Instagram doom scroll to
Mm-hmm.
clicking on it and then having to fill out a survey basically. And we just
Yeah.
reversed it. We did this, we improved the infographic, we made it really solid, and it's this nice carousel swipe. So you go from Instagram to something that feels like Instagram, swipe through this carousel, learn how to use the app, and then onboarding. And we sped up the onboarding so it's way faster.
Do
And
you
then
think
made
that do you think that would translate to a web application too?
yeah,
Because I think like the App Store landing page, so to speak, is the comparable to a web app website. But that's really interesting.
when I realized that you have to cater to people's shitty attention spans.
Yeah.
That's just it. Like,
Yeah.
and how are they finding you? For you, it's Instagram.
Well,
Every
and yeah, and just people are dumb in general. Like I was talking to the Insider Memes guys yesterday, and we were talking about how like 30% of humans have no inner dialogue in their brain. Like they don't have an inner voice. So they're just walking around kind of like la di da, like, oh,
Yeah,
an app.
you're
So
right.
yeah, it
You're
makes
right.
sense to like walk through, hey, this is actually what we do once they're in it and they're engaged on the actual application rather than just marketing materials or a subset of them.
I think there's a big caveat to people are dumb because you're right. People are dumb, but consumers are smart. Consumers know what they want intuitively by a very quick first impression. And it can be something like, internalizing a brand. Why does everybody buy Nike? Why does every woman own Lululemon leggings? So I think the consumers are smart whether they realize it or not. They know intuitively what they want. So you have to make it so fucking clear that this is what you're getting as a consumer within the first couple seconds, and then cater to that attention span issue as well. Because if you go from sign up and the first thing is inputting text fields, I think you're going to lose a lot of people.
Yeah.
This is my
I,
theory.
I would maybe push back on that a little bit. I think the marketing of those brands that you mentioned is the reason why people are then convinced to purchase them.
Yes, definitely. The marketing has a lot to do with it, but if if the purchase flow took you right from ad to checkout, you wouldn't do it. And I think this it's an equivalent situation from ad to sign up for a platform. Like
Mm,
when you click on an ad, you're going to the product page. You're looking at the product, you're seeing the reviews. Like you're convinced
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
reinforced.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I think
You're
that
right.
that's something that software really misses a lot.
Yeah, we got to think about it more like e-commerce, kind of.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really solid landing page. Yeah.
God damn it, going back to our roots.
Yeah, I know. Back to the drawing board. It's a
But someone,
frustrating realization because I'm like, fuck, this is so obvious. Why, like,
it's so obvious. Yeah.
and then I looked at a bunch of other successful apps. I'm like, yep, that's what they do. That's what
Yep.
they do. It's the graphics first, the selling the dream, and then getting them to sign up.
Well, I have to say that there's time and time again, I feel like we come across that where it's like, oh, our past, I mean, hence the name of the podcast, Agency to SaaS, like using our past business experience to then translate that to software, which just inherently has a higher ROI and enterprise value return.
Yeah.
But the fundamentals are all the same across all industries, essentially.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I should
Yeah.
try to. We've been trying to. I mean, we're just doing too much as it is. But I think once we get voice out, we will be able to look at more things like this, like looking at our onboarding experience and trying to update that and work people, further through the funnel in a way that would get them that showcase to them what it is that we're doing, the i.e. the product page,
Hmm.
and then do something where it's yeah. So when they're downloading your app, you're not getting their email address until they enter it in to sign up to create an account, right?
Yeah.
So now that process happens after they go through this new onboarding experience.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. And is that still after? So they see the information, then they have to enter their email, and then they answer the questions.
Correct.
Okay. So you're capturing the info like quickly ish.
It's very quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
And
have my
then
testing phone near me. I want to show you my real phone's the camera, but
ah
I could show you super quick on Figma. It is really, really good. Actually, you know what? I totally took a video of this. I can show you the video.
oh, there we go.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna show you this because super cool. It's going to see right from the beginning. Mute it. All right, so here's you just open the app for the first time. This is what you get.
Okay.
It's a carousel.
Mm-hmm.
You can swipe through. You can see the animation at the bottom.
Was that drop down pop up part of it?
No, that was just a notification.
Okay. Yep.
And that's it. And then so this is what I'm doing now. You download and it's just some info. So there's no
Yep.
click away, there's no exit. Then you go to done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if I click it in this video, I should. Come on. Okay, well it doesn't matter. Anyway,
Uh,
you click done and then it goes to our sign up screen, which is right here. So it goes through this little swipe carousel, and then you go to let's get started. Sign up today, sleep better tomorrow. And then it's log in with Apple or log in with Google. There is no
mm-hmm.
username password option.
Nice.
For you, you probably want that, but because we're a mobile app, it's you're gonna have one or the other. You're either Apple or Android.
I mean, it really, yeah. I would say I think 60 to 70% of our users use Google to log in, which
It makes sense. I use Google login for everything.
if it doesn't have Google login, I get annoyed.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
I'm like, I have to enter in a fucking password. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. But that was the switch, and I realized everybody's coming from Instagram. So they're going from this like
Mm-hmm.
scroll entertainment thing. So give them something visual. There needs to be a buffer. You can't just go like answer a survey. I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to work. Um, so we'll see. And then we launched this at the same time as Freemium. So now anybody can access the app for free forever.
And it's familiar to them, like in terms of a carousel swipe. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I was just on a carousel swipe and now I'm seeing another carousel swipe.
exactly. And I think the animation is really strong at the bottom. Like it, this is the thing. People are dumb, but consumers are smart. They know the carousel bubbles at the bottom. They can feel it like a progress bar. They know that they're getting close and that they're going to go through the sign up. So I think it's just you're priming people mentally to then fill out the onboarding survey. This is all
Mm-hmm.
theory. Like, I have no idea, but we're about to go through the Expo and hopefully have thousands of downloads. So I'll
Yeah.
be able to figure this out pretty quick.
Well, and it, like you said, this is the standard kind of method that many mobile apps follow. So it makes
Yeah,
sense as to why it would, why it would work.
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Or
It's also the same
report
as
back
Drive.
next week.
You get the like little bubbles for the screen that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, we'll see. So that's my update. That's about all I got. But I'm excited to hear the Stammer stuff. What's going
That's
on?
that's very exciting.
What's
I
new with
mean,
Steam?
yeah. So I feel like a broken record at this point, but we're still working on voice. We're making visual progress within one of our testing environments. So every day now we're making some final tweaks. Dev team is fixing them. We have our updated version of SaaS configurator out. One of the things that we've done as a whole is like when we first built the app, it was easier for us to build it. And this is something I'll never do this ever again. I will always build mobile and web applications in React from day one. We didn't do that.
Is that
Two and a
because it
half.
integrates with Lovable?
No, React is a language that scales better to more devices easier. And it's basically what everything is like. So many applications use it to be are built using that library and framework. Whereas if you're building it with JavaScript and HTML and CSS, it can be a little wonky. Yeah, you can get everything done, but in order to in order to scale a chat widget to desktop and mobile, like with HTML, like we have to programmatically put that in there. So we spent so much time like formatting everything to work with so many different screen sizes, when if we had just built it in React, it would have been a lot easier for us to manage that process. So in addition to voice, over the last year or so, we've been systematically going through and recreating basically every window and every dashboard from the old version to React. So that way it works better, looks better, performs better than the previous version. And with voice, we knew that we had to do that from day one, so that way we don't have to go back and do that all. But
Yeah.
part of that process, because we added voice, was the updating of the SaaS configurator, which allows people to build and sell, create their subscription products through the Stripe integration.
Yeah.
And so we rebuilt the entire SaaS configurator in React and then added in the voice module, which has completely updated and changed that whole portion of the application, which is 25% of the whole app probably.
Wow.
And that is what is taking us so much time, because that is something that affects all existing users and all existing subscriptions, because it's used that new dashboard is also controlling the subscriptions for chat and chat interface.
Uh, Gotcha. It's all
So
connected. You have to perfect the piece then.
it's all connected. Yeah. So and that's really what's been taking the most time. Like I've been mentioning, the core functionality of voice has been completed and done, and it's working. And I mean, businesses and agencies are already using it, but they're just not able to resell it yet. And we can't release it to everyone until that last piece has been fixed and updated.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the annoying part, is it's just such a huge project that we've taken on, where if initially it was just for core functionality, we'd be done and we'd be, singing in the trees. But now it's down to the nitty gritty stuff of how do we update the margin for billing on when someone uploads an image to then use the vision calculator in a chat in a chat bot, which has nothing to do with voice. But
Right.
yet we have to update that because it's all a part of the same module.
Yeah. So do you find that you're spending more time just bumping into roadblocks than developing, or do you feel like you're progressing along a timeline and like you're getting closer to the finish line?
Kind of both. I can visually see that we are getting closer to the finish line, but as I have learned, that's kind of the first piece of, the last little bit of resistance, where you try to get a new core functionality out, or a new module out, and then it gets put into semi-production environment, where okay, now like real people are testing it, which means we get bugs and we get feedback and edge cases and things that we just cannot expect and test for. And that's where I'm starting to think that we're going to be spending even more time. And on the flip side of that, the mentality from us has been get it to a point where it's working in our test environments, there's no obvious bugs, and then just put it out into production as quickly as possible and try to get feedback as quickly as possible, and have dedicated resources and bandwidth associated with addressing that feedback and those bugs as quickly as possible. So once we do this big launch, and we're going to plan it as full Stammer 2.0 launch, the whole team, our entire engineering team, minus maybe one or two people, is going to be focused on just getting feedback, fixing it as quickly as possible. So that way all this new functionality is working for all users, which, I mean, at this point, we have tens of thousands of people using it. So for that random business owner in Algeria who's logging in, are we sure that it's going to work for him? Not sure until he logs in and uses it.
Mhm. Right.
So
Are there any regulatory concerns about people in like the European Union, for instance?
yeah, yeah, for voice, definitely. The good thing is we're partnering with Twilio for this release, like many other AI voice companies, and they they manage and handle a lot of the verification steps on their end. So when we launch voice, you'll be able to purchase phone numbers directly from the Stammer platform for the US and Canada and dozens of other countries. But there are many key countries that are missing, like the UK, Germany, France, a lot of these, a lot of these countries in Europe. And in order to get a phone number in those countries, you have to make your own Twilio account, and you have to purchase the phone numbers in Twilio, and then you have to upload business documentation into Twilio and have Twilio verify the business to make the number allowed to be connected to our platform. And it's a ton of steps, but we don't want to rebuild all of that regulatory stuff,
Yeah.
whereas Twilio just handles it for us.
And that'll delay your launch. And most of your customers are in the US anyways. So,
Yeah, I mean, our exposure to the UK is sub 10%. So
yeah.
we definitely want to make sure it works for
Everybody knows
everyone.
Twilio. And there's a reason everybody has an open API. It's to solve problems like this.
Yeah, I mean, the more I started to do these types of large build outs, it's use managed services when you can and pass that complexity off instead of rebuilding it yourself.
Hmm.
And that I wish we had had that mentality from day one, where we have rebuilt so many different things ourselves when we really didn't need to. Like we built our own website scraper like 2 years ago when we
Hmm.
could have just been using a managed service for that the entire time,
Yeah.
which we now use as our advanced scraper, which is a managed service.
Mhm.
Like how many weeks of dev work went into building our own scraper? Like, ugh, kills me.
Yeah, there's something to be said for just focusing on your core competency and trying to grow it out. Because if someone
Yeah,
else's core competency is a web scraper and they spend 100% of their time doing it, it's better than you trying to spend a month building it
exactly,
and then
exactly,
it's still not going to be as good as if you use the managed service anyways. And it's probably cheaper to use the managed service.
exactly.
I
And
find that in a lot of areas.
that was a tough lesson to learn, and we learned it the hard way. Like we
Yeah.
just spent so much time and money not doing that, to where now I will never make that mistake again. So like when we come up with new functionality and stuff, we're now looking towards that process. And a good example of this is kind of similar to web scraping. Like people have been starting to ask us in the chat interface, like we want to be able to enter in a URL, and then the AI agent can see what's on that URL, see what's on that web page. And that's how ChatGPT works. Like you can just enter in a URL and like tell me what's on this page and blah blah blah. So the end consumer is expecting that functionality with other AI agents, even though ChatGPT is basically fronting all of that power and the cost associated with scraping a website and then putting the context of that entire website into the input of a prompt, and then doing an analysis on that, all all for $20 a month, unlimited. And the first thing is that is not a single endpoint in the OpenAI API. There's the web search preview API for the different models, which is a completely different endpoint that you're hitting to be able to process that information. The second is taking all of that data in the context and putting that into the input of a prompt is now drastically increasing the cost of that message.
Right.
who's going to pay for, like, who's paying for that?
Yeah.
So it's like there are these things that, I equivalate it to Amazon Prime making the end consumer think everybody's e-commerce store should be able to ship in a day or 2 days. And it's like, oh, thanks Amazon for making us all look bad because we don't have the funds to do that. Whereas OpenAI is like, oh yeah, we just do it all for free. Like you can just do it all. And for everyone else, it's kind of like, well, we kind of have to figure that out. But that's a good example of a managed service. Like we're looking at implementing the web search preview because OpenAI already provides it. Yes, it is more expensive, but it's easier for the end consumer to use rather than us building a custom function that hits another third-party API that technically is also a managed service, but instead of using a third-party system, we're just using OpenAI.
Yeah, so you're paying a little bit more for operational efficiency, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
And
an interesting comparison between the Amazon and OpenAI because
right.
what happens for Amazon is now everybody goes uh, FBA. Everyone's like, well, I'll just use FBA because their distribution network's amazing, and yeah, they're going to get a piece of it. But now I can give the customer what they expect, which is really, really quick delivery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now it's the same thing with OpenAI. But the
Yeah.
difference is they're controlling the costs. I guess it's not really a difference, but OpenAI can control the $20 subscription and just assume that most people are not going to exceed that in their internal costs, or if they do, they have buckets of funding and it's fine. But for your use case, you're a business owner targeting business owners. Their usage is going to be significantly more, and you're still relying on their API.
Mm-hmm.
So your margins are not going to be as good as theirs.
Well, yeah, and then it's kind of, it's like this circle of problem solution. Like that solution then creates a new problem, which is who is paying for it, how are they paying for it, and how is their end customer paying for it?
Mhm.
If the system currently as is, where we're setting a static price per message, that doesn't work because if you're adding in 10x the amount of information into a message, then your margin doesn't work because the price is off per
Mhm.
message. So then it creates that new problem of, okay, well, how do we solve that? Well,
Yeah.
that then is, we have to then work in a margin like profit slider.
Mhm.
So instead of setting a static price, we set a dynamic price that says, oh, the customer will pay 20% on top of whatever OpenAI is going to charge us for whatever it is that they're trying to do.
Sure. Yeah.
Which then creates a new problem because then we have to then go into SaaS Configurator and now add that and make that.
Mhm. Mhm. And then it might create a churn problem. It could like fuck with all your metrics too.
And then it creates a support problem because then we have to tell every single existing customer that, hey, we're going from static to dynamic pricing. So that way it will solve for these use cases. Some people are not going to like that. So then do we have to make it an option where you can go static or dynamic? Oh, it's like,
Don't you just love it?
I just
The
love it. I
never-ending
love it.
loop of problems and solutions. And I find the most frustrating part about it is you can only tell your customer what you're doing. You don't have the time of day to explain the reasoning behind what you're doing. So even if your reasoning is justified and it makes a lot of
Oh,
sense, all they're gonna see is, sorry, did you lose me?
yeah, yeah. What are you saying?
I think D Square probably caught it anyways, but I'm saying the frustrating part is you can only tell the customer what you're doing. You can't tell them why you're doing it. So even if your reason is justified, all they care is that you change the pricing, you're trying to price gouge. It's never going to be perceived as this positive change that you did when it's something related to pricing.
100%. And we came across this when we semi forced people to add their own API key
Mm,
because that was our short-term fix for a lot of this. When a lot of customers were, I wouldn't say a lot, it was like actually a small minority of customers that were causing the majority of the problem, where they were just without this extra added functionality, their input messages were just insanely large. Like on average, each message on our platform is like 3,500 tokens, and some of these customers were using like 50,000 tokens per message.
Right. Yeah.
And we were like, okay, well, instead of going through that whole process that I just mentioned of building out all that additional stuff, which then affects everybody, we were just like, hey, small majority of customers, and if you want your bots to still work like it is, like they are working, you have to put in your own API key from OpenAI, and everything it'll just work. It'll be fine. But we cannot be on the hook for every single message and losing many cents on the dollar per message when you're only paying us 1 cent, but we're paying OpenAI like 10 cents
Yeah.
per message. And
Right.
times each customer, times each conversation, times each business, like it got out of hand. I mean, there was a couple of months there where our OpenAI bill like doubled every month when usage only went up by like 20%. And we're like, wait, hold on. That can't be right. And then, of course, we figured out that our calculations were completely off for these customers who have an insanely large prompt or inputting tons of more data. And at the end of the day, all we could do is say, like, hey, we added this new functionality. If you want to use it, great. If not, then your bots are going to be limited to 3,500 tokens per message, which covers 98% of use cases. So in theory, it should only affect the people that are trying to do this crazy large example or use case. But
The
like,
problem is that affected your power users. So even if it's 2%, these are 2% of the people that are using it to the nth degree.
but what's interesting is the pushback that we got wasn't from them. It was from the middle of the road customers.
Mm.
A lot of people were going over that 3,500 token limit by maybe like 500 tokens. And they're like, oh, well, why do I have to add in my API key? And we had to basically explain the same, like to someone who's using 50,000 tokens, it makes perfect sense. Like, oh, like, yeah, that makes, like, I'm just using it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But for someone who's using maybe 4,000 tokens, and it was also annoying too, because then that forced us to uh, showcase that tokens is still a thing, even though we were trying to hide and simplify that concept to
Yeah.
everybody. We eventually just can't get around it.
It makes sense why you did that because even I find it complicated when I'm looking at it. And then there's input tokens and output tokens, and then
Yeah,
every model has a different cost. And then there's mini versions of the model that also have a different cost. And all the capabilities are different. I'm like, what the fuck? It's so complicated. But then I look at OpenAI, I'm like, well, yeah, I don't even know how they make it simpler. You're just billing on usage, I guess.
exactly. And the more I've worked with it and the more I've learned is it has to go into like we are only headed in one direction, and that is dynamic pricing with a margin slider. And thankfully with voice, we realized that with voice very quickly. So voice from day one is going to be all margin based dynamic pricing. So that shouldn't be an issue, and hopefully that will help ease that transition for chat people over to dynamic margin based pricing as well. Oop. Still there? Oh, there you are. You back? Can you hear me? I can see you.
Hey, sorry, we're back.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah.
My bad. Sorry, we're on Starlink, so if every once in a while we'll lose the satellite gap and then it comes back.
Oh, damn. That's
I
pretty
know.
sick, though.
It's kind of it's a cool way to explain I lost internet connection.
Well, yeah. It'll only be a matter of, I'm sure, not too long until the entire sky is filled with them, and it'll be
Yep.
all time for forever.
You can see them going across the sky though. I can see them at night, just like six green dots just whoosh, shooting across the sky.
That's so freaking cool.
It's crazy. Anyway, sorry, let's go back. Go back to how expensive OpenAI is.
I mean, yeah, I think I've said my piece there, honestly.
Fair enough. All right, let's change up topics. I want to talk about insider memes. How's that going?
So it's doing well. It's like the initial launch did really well, and we got some really good feedback. People are staying. Like we're just about to hit our first month, and um, we're not seeing, like, churn is continuously going down, even though we're still so new. I was expecting a lot of people to, buy it, pay for 1 month, or pay for it and then immediately cancel. That's not happening, which is a really good sign. We launched yearly pricing, so some people have paid for the yearly pricing. Another great
Nice.
sign. Um, and now we're basically just expanding the marketing funnel to try to capture more eyeballs. What's really cool is there's a lot of other large meme accounts that have signed up and are starting to use it and then post those videos and images to their accounts.
That's really cool.
So it's good, dude. Like I have it. So like we mobile optimize it, so you can use it. You can actually use the full application on your phone, mobile.
Stick.
And I've been in, with friends or whatever, and I'll pull it up and I'll be like, all right, tell me something about your job. And then I'll just plug that in and click generate. And then I'll just scroll through the memes. And there's not been a time yet where I don't get at least one chuckle from one of the 6 memes that has been generated from that tagline.
So good. What's the website? I want to pull it up.
It's insidermemes.com.
Nice and easy. Generate viral memes with AI.
So yeah,
There's some big brands on here.
dude, they like, so the two guys that run the corporate dudes and corporate degens account,
Yeah.
that are my partners with this, they run an agency that generates memes and videos for companies.
Cool.
And a lot of the original idea for this application was, how can we make their job easier by using AI to make these memes for them and their clients.
Got it.
And my whole thing was like, well, I don't know what a good tagline is that matches to a specific video or image. So like, if I'm a dumb business owner, like I don't know that this tagline should go to this image, or know that this meme is now, out or whatever. And that was kind of the genesis of the application, is like, let's put all of that together into one simple thing where there's one text box and you click one button and then it just generates memes. And the quality of it is so good, especially compared to basically every other meme generator that we've tested out there on the market. Like, a lot of them will do exactly what we're doing, but they can't replicate the template instructions that we've added to every single meme that gets uploaded to the library. And that's why the quality of the taglines and its matching to its respective meme, image or video is so good and so relevant.
Well, I
And
mean that's the key to the whole thing.
and that's and because they know what those things should be and how they should be. Like there are certain memes that are formatted in a certain way, and if it's not formatted like that way, then the meme doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
And
give it a
so
shot. I'm gonna try it out. It looks interesting.
you should, yeah. And just send me your email. I'll give you some more credits.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good. I'll let you know when I sign up.
But yeah, and it works for basically every single industry, niche, or business type, which is sick.
It's
So
awesome.
yeah,
That's really, really cool. Can
yeah,
you
it's.
can you share any of the numbers? Is it making enough money for you to smile at, or it's irrelevant right now?
I would say it's. I mean, it's pretty comparatively, it's irrelevant, but
Yeah.
um, there is a significant amount of people using it, and we're getting a significant amount of people signing up every day. So
That's awesome.
the funnel is there. We just need to give it more time. Like we're in week 3 of launch, so it's still
That's
brand new.
crazy. Wow, I didn't realize it was that new.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, right now we're working on blog content so we can start ranking for when people search for memes.
Mhm.
We want to do YouTube videos explaining why memes are useful and good, and start doing a ton of stuff on Reddit to just like post memes to different random subreddits for businesses and niches and things,
Nice.
and then see how that goes. So,
So this is probably so obvious, but when we were running digital, we had some value posts and then memes. The memes always performed better. 10 out of 10.
always.
They
Yeah.
always perform better. Even on Bambi, we post like a funny video of like our kid falling and it literally got like 3 million views. And then all the info stuff just it's like it's regular like whatever 3,000 to 10,000 views.
Yeah. If ever I wake up on a day and I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to post today, I'll just spend 5 minutes maybe making a bunch of memes. And then I'll be like, oh, that one's hilarious. And I think it's funny. So let me post it. And then it just rips.
It's that crazy. But this
And
is the thing. I was talking to an agency about this, and he's like, people don't, we need to reword or rename social media. It's not social media, it's social entertainment. People aren't going there to connect with their friends, they're going there to be entertained.
yeah,
That's it. Plain and simple.
entertained or feed into their internal rage.
But that's entertainment. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
you
Yeah.
label it how you want. Like if I'm looking at Porsche videos or I'm whatever, looking at funny shit, it's entertainment. I find it entertaining. It doesn't have to
True,
be
true,
fun,
true.
it's entertaining.
No, yeah, 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 you're right. You're right. Yeah. Like, yeah, horror movies are still entertainment.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so true.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
try it.
mean, do it. It's great. I love it. Like as a it's one of those things that I am now a user of my own product constantly,
Isn't that the best feeling?
which is another great sign.
Yes, definitely.
So, pretty cool. Last thing I wanted to mention is the Meta AI display glasses.
Yeah.
So, if you're not aware yet, Meta and Mark Zuckerberg did a keynote yesterday where they launched the Meta Ray-Bans version 2, which is the Ray-Bans that have the camera in them. But then they also launched a new product, which I believe the name of them is Meta Ray-Bans Display, which is, I think, a terrible name. But essentially, it's the same concept, but it also now has a display somehow built into the glass in the frame.
That is so sick.
So sick. I have no idea how they actually did it, and the two main things is the actual display. The main thing that stood out to me in the keynote was Zuck said that the display can go up to 5,000 nits of brightness in the glasses in the frame. And for a comparison, Apple 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago was claiming their 3000 nits of brightness on the new iPhone 17 Pros was, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And Zuck just came out and said ours is 5,000 in a pair of glasses.
I might buy this product. I'm looking at it now. This is really cool.
I'm going to buy it just because I think it's going to be good for me for content to film with.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how useful they're going to be, or I have no idea about anything on them yet. I still have to watch a ton of reviews, and I'm really curious to see what people think about them from first looks.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll wait for the MKBHD review and then
literally
decide.
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the display is really cool, and then the second piece of it is the way that you control it is there's a wristband called the neural wristband or something, where I guess they made this thing to be able to perceive when you're moving your fingers and your hand in a certain way, which then controls the UI on the glasses and the screen. And the craziest part that I saw was Zuck was on stage and someone sent him a text message, and he was like, "Oh, I could just, say or dictate my response." But he said, "What if you're in a coffee shop and you're not trying to just respond out loud?" And he pulled up, he made a little twitch with his fingers, and then to me, it looked like he simulated like he was holding a pen and then was writing his response on a table, which then made the text of what he was writing pop up in the text box on the screen in the display, and then he clicked send while he was saying other words.
That's okay. That's really cool. The write with a pen is kind of cool. I can see it on their website here.
And I was like, that is freaking cool.
Yeah.
But of course, with live demos, they did a lot. The whole thing was a live demo, and their video call that they tried to set up completely failed, which I'm sure he's taking some heads today. Oh,
Hmm.
the live demo of my new product didn't work. I'm gonna chop some heads today, but
Yeah. Yeah. A couple people getting the axe this morning.
probably, or at least at minimum an earful. But it was cool. I was watching it live, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Way more impressive in my opinion than the Apple Vision Pro.
Well, I was just gonna say that. So the Vision Pro was super hyped up for good reason. It is a cool product,
Yeah.
but I feel like you saw like the couple videos of people using it on the bus or like using it in weird places
Hmm.
and then or using it on airplanes and then it's gone. And now like no one cares.
And it was $5,000. These are priced at $799.
I was just gonna ask, yeah, how much they are. 790.
They
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. I was expecting them, like when he started going through it, and I was like, all this new tech and all this new stuff, like the R&D on this stuff must have been billions.
Well, yeah, I watched an interview with Zuck and I I want to say Joe Rogan, and he talked about no, it wasn't Joe Rogan. It was a female interview. I don't remember, but he was talking about how much money they put into this and just how hard it is to basically get like a supercomputer inside a frame of glasses that is
Hmm.
small enough that people are still willing to wear it.
Hmm.
That's the crazy part
It's
because they
insane.
don't look bad actually. Seeing the pictures of it, to wear them as glasses, yeah, to wear them as sunglasses, 100%, no problem.
Yeah,
It'd be
I guess they were all of these are transition lenses.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Anyway, sorry, I think I'm getting a little short on time. I can see, got to get the kid down.
Yeah.
These are super cool. We'll check out the reviews and then go from there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the move. Cool.
Cool. Awesome.
Alrighty. Thanks everyone for listening. See you guys next week.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.